Had a fantastic podcast interview with Alessandra recently, and if you haven't listened or checked it out on YouTube, please do go give it a listen on Spotify or any of your podcast platform that you use. And I thought I'd just reflect on that interview because it really, I found it very insightful, and she resonated on a couple of important topics when you think about student success, and hopefully you will get lots of value if you're dealing with a lot of those things as a student yourself. So the first thing that really struck home for me was that she said she turned her failures into success, and I think that was more reference to her undergrad studies, where she took a bit longer than she wanted to originally, and had to repeat a bit, etc. But she got through it, and she was proud of that achievement and became very passionate about what were the secrets of success at an undergrad or even a postgrad level, and what students needed to be more successful. And she ended up actually researching that topic in her postgrad master's level study. And a couple of other very useful insights that I took out of it, which I think for yourself as a student you could learn from quite a bit. And the big one she said was that there's a tendency to get isolated, and I think if the lockdowns of 2020 or anything to go by, we continue to learn more online and from home, etc., we will lose a lot of that class interaction that we've traditionally been used to. But even as a postgraduate student, you will be doing a lot of your work in an individual context, researching from home, reading from home, writing up your proposal, your final report, etc., pretty much all on your own. And what she said was, you must speak to people, you must get people around you that can hold you accountable, and you should implement hard deadlines. So you set yourself a target, you need to get something in by March. And it's this burn your boats principle that I teach in my course. So another big topic that she mentioned was the importance of writing early and often, which absolutely, again, I teach in my course. And it's this idea of generative writing and getting thoughts down onto paper. You can always correct bad writing, you can never correct no writing. She did that very effectively, she said. She read a lot to get to grips with her topic, and then when she came to write up her final report, she had these discussion papers or memos or formal notes that she'd written up on all of that literature, which served her very well in terms of having the content to put into her final report, which I thought was absolutely such a useful piece of advice for somebody that's going through that and needing to get content ready for a final report. A couple other things that she mentioned was that there are often cultural reasons for students struggling and not getting the support that they need. So, for example, you might find a student who is at varsity, but in their family is the first person to ever study. And so the rest of the family doesn't actually have a model for how to support them, and doesn't really necessarily understand what it means to study. They know it's a good thing to go and get a degree, and that's their objective, to support them in doing that. But what the steps are and what that mindset is that you need to be successful, even at an undergraduate level as well as at a postgraduate level, some of those are just missing in the home family structures that many students will have. And so they need to compensate for that. They need to have access to groups, access to communities, access to coaching, access to content, etc., that can help them through that. And my own experience, which I talked about in the interview as well with Alessandra, was that when I coach students, it is often just that process of talking something through that helps a student go on a journey of self-discovery about what they need to do to overcome a certain goal or deal with a certain challenge, or really just to move to the next stage of their study. So go check it out. Alessandra is one of our active members of the Student Success Coach Facebook group. Very encouraging and supportive to everyone else in the group, and she really gave a very insightful interview. So do go and check it out.